Hi, I'm Jacquelin. I'm a freelance writer, which basically means, pay me, I'll clean up your nuclear waste. And I'm reading two pieces today that are very short and humorous, hopefully humorous. And they're separate but related. This is called Freelance Wardrobe. I'm wearing black, the color I wear every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, constantly, consistently, sans cesse. Somehow it makes me happy, and as far as I can tell, happiness is so ephemeral, so elusive, that if wearing black does the trick, it's a small concession to make in the general scheme of things. I work as a freelance writer. This means in exchange for starving to death, I can wear whatever getup I want. But in actuality, my wardrobe is kind of schizophrenic, because I still have all the clothes I used to wear when I went to work in an office, back when I used to have real jobs, before I dropped out of 9 to 5. These clothes are all very first mate, white shirts, navy blue suits, and navy pumps to match. Sometimes I still wear these clothes because my life isn't all glamour and magazine articles. Sometimes I have to do public relations work or other writing-related projects for some cash to pay the rent. This usually means showing up at someone's office. For these occasions, I trot out the old ship-to-shore wear, but now dressed like this, I feel like an imposter on my way to a masked ball. As I head off to these client meetings, I can't believe I used to wear such tight, constricting clothes every day. For another unsung benefit of all the black clothes I now own is that they are very loose-fitting, freedom of expression and movement. In fact, my decision to change careers was based on a costume change. As I tried to focus in on what I wanted to do next with my life, a clothing analogy kept rising to the surface of my mind. Feelings of malaise, angst, and general ennui were associated with wearing suits. I would pick my next career based on what it was I wanted to wear. Sportswear would be king. I started narrowing down the career choices. Advertising and public relations fit the wardrobe prescription, but I soon found out there was a lot of competition in the sportswear category, and it wasn't as laid back as it appeared. Maybe the guys in the creative end threw on a pair of jeans and a tight t-shirt, but the women worked hard at looking casual, worked hard and spent big. $400 for a belt to pull an outfit together, $600 on accessories that would dress up a simple shift and take it from day wear to evening wear. I had no idea casual could be so complex. It wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Freelancing seemed the only way to define casual on my own terms, and black is the perfect wardrobe for a freelancer because black is the color of hand to almost mouth. One of those moments where I have to put on the ship-to-shore wear and go look for some work to pay the rent. It's called looking for pennies. I'd answered an ad right up my alley to work on an international business travel book project. This woman, the author, calls and interviews me over the phone. She asked me to come in the next day for an appointment. The work is to take place in her apartment at 200 Central Park South, which is this round modern building on the corner of 59th and 7th. The book is on protocol in countries around the world. The author babe asked me if I mind working in someone's apartment. I say no, as long as it's quiet, so I can concentrate to write. We hang up, and later that afternoon she calls back to ask if, after the in-person interview, I can stay and help her write an article, press release, which she will pay me for. A good way to see if we'll work well together, she says. The author bills herself as the first lady of protocol, so I'm expecting a sweater set wearing Connecticut matron. Fortunately, she was on the phone when I walked in, so I had a moment to recover, because what we had here was a lard-ass, middle-aged Tallahassee housewife trying to look like Doris Day. Dyed blonde hair, the worst dye job I've ever seen, in a do that was out of date since the 1950s, very long fingernails with purple polish, totally inappropriate for any business except Lady of the Night. I'm in mild shock as we sit down to discuss the project. The publisher wants her to turn in protocol info on 3 countries a week for 20 weeks. Besides the enormity of the task, it becomes clear to me as we continue to talk that what she knows about protocol is research-based, not based on life or work experience. Also, she makes grammatical errors, subtle, but the kind that sets off fire alarms in my head. Next, the phone rings. She answers it, and the doorbell rings at the same time, so I go to answer that. A chubby guy in his mid-20s, dressed in Wall Street garb, walks in, brushes right past me, no hello or any kind of introduction. She puts her hand over the phone, points at him, and whispers, "Researcher." As the researcher walks past her, he kisses the back of her neck, blowing his cover as the boyfriend. He says he works as a broker, but watching them interact, it's clear to me he plays a major role in this project. So this schluck from Long Island hovers near us as the interview continues. I refrain from saying, "Now, Junior, run along," but there he is. He says his office is 2 blocks away, and he shows up here every day at lunchtime and when the market closes. I lose all interest in the project. The interview is over, and all I want to do is escape when I remember I've agreed to stay and work with her that afternoon. The apartment does have a lovely view of Central Park, but it's basically a small 1-bedroom. All the work is to take place in the living room. She has 2 computer stations set up, one plopped down next to the couch, the other by the front door. The decor is Florida motel. Her PR person calls and wants me to help the author write a piece on the proper protocol for a businessman in Japan. I try to get info from her. She hands me books and already written by other people reference materials. After numerous attempts to elicit suggestions from her, it totally dawns on me she doesn't know. In fact, she says to me, "Why don't you look over the information and see what pops out to you?" Even more unbelievable is that she has high-level corporate sponsors for this project. She's on retainer with American Express and Pete Marwick. She gives seminars at Tiffany's, or so she says. I finally accept the fact that she can't help me write this thing, because she just don't know. So I sit down at the computer by the front door to knock something out. So here's the scene. Another guy, a real researcher, who's been helping her with a different section of the book, comes in and sits down at the computer by the couch. Her dog, one of those little furball things, trots back and forth in the living room. The doorbell rings again. It's an AT&T guy to install phones. Now he and the dog are crawling around on the floor. The phone rings every 5 minutes. When the market closes, the boyfriend comes back. Finally, I escape to the street. As I flee, she calls out after me, "Speak with you tomorrow." I was so unhinged, I walked home all the way in the rain. The funny part is that I actually liked her. She did leave a message the next day. When I called back, she was on the phone and asked if she could call me back. I never heard from her again.